3 days after becoming a ghost officer, I became the laughingstock of hell, because my wife in the living world was burning paper money for me like crazy. Hell money piled up like mountains. My co-worker Ma Xiu pointed at me and snapped, "Keep your woman under control," until the king of hell came himself. He handed me a Huazi cigarette and asked me, trembling, "Brother Mo, hell is short on cash. Could you lend us some first?" The whole underworld fell silent. My name is Shen Mo. I had been dead for 3 days. I died saving a child crossing the road when a runaway truck sent me flying. Maybe because of that, I never drank Mengpo's soup and never entered reincarnation. Instead, at the Ghost Gate office, I was given a job at Naihe Bridge. Basically, I managed wandering souls and kept them from causing trouble. The work was actually easy, but my co-workers were tense as hell. "What, here for your salary again?" A sharp-faced guy leaned on the counter. His name was Ma Xiu. My co-worker, an old ghost who died decades before me. I ignored him and walked straight to the salary judge. Then handed over my badge. He glanced at me and tossed 10 hell bills on the table. I frowned. "Judge Sheng, is there some mistake? New ghost officers get 100 hell bills a month, right?" He barely lifted his eyes. "No mistake, but yours gets deducted." "Why?" I asked. He acted like he heard a huge joke, then pointed behind me at sacks piled like mountains. "See for yourself." I turned around. Dozens of huge sacks filled the whole corner of the office. 2 red words were written on them: Shen Mo. The sacks were not tied shut. Colorful hellbills spilled out like trash. Ma Xiu came over with a slight grin. Come on. I am not trying to be harsh, but your wife burns way too much. 3 days on the job. And she burns piles every day. Look at this. Anyone who did not know better would think you opened a bank down here. The other ghost officers burst out laughing. Yesterday, Naihe Bridge got jammed because his wife burned too much money. She almost blocked the Wangchuan River. I heard about that too. Mengpa was nearly losing her mind. She barely had room to make soup. My face burned with embarrassment. "Xingxue, what are you doing?" My wife, Lin Xingxue, was gentle like flowing water. We had only been married 1 year. I promised to take her around the world, but now I was already dead. I could imagine how broken she felt, but this paper money routine was way too intense. Ma Xiu saw my silence, and his smile grew smugger. He pulled out fresh hell bills, a full 100 notes, and fanned them in my face. "See that? This is a normal salary." He slapped the cash on Judge Zhang's desk, then handed 1 bill over. "Judge Zhang, thanks for your trouble. Have some tea on me." Judge Zhang instantly smiled with a flattering face. "Oh, Brother Ma, you are too generous." Ma Xiu enjoyed the praise, then lifted his chin at me. "Shen Mo. Being a ghost is like being alive. You need to know your place." Another shipment came for Shen Mo. This time, 999 trucks. The whole office went dead silent. Every ghost turned to stare at me. My heart skipped. "Xingxue, did you sell our house?" "What does 999 trucks mean?" The entire West District office was packed from gate to backyard. We ghost officers could not even find room to stand. The chief was a balding middle-aged ghost, crouching sadly on a mountain of hellbills, smoking 1 cigarette after another. It was special soul-breaking incense. Ghosts smoked it to ease their worries. The chief shouted at the top of his lungs, "What is going on with you? Did your wife rob a printing factory?" The chief pointed at my nose. His hand was shaking. I lowered my head, speechless. I wanted to know too. Ma Xiu stirred trouble from the side, and the ghost officers joined in. "Chief, we cannot let this slide. Shen Mo disrupted public order in hell. He must be punished." Exactly. We cannot even work anymore. Dock his merit. Send him to sweep the streets." "Enough, stop shouting." He looked at me and sighed. "I know you are new here and do not know many rules, but make your wife stop burning money. If this keeps going, forget our district. Hell's financial system will collapse." I gave a bitter smile. I am only a 7th-rank ghost officer. I cannot even send my wife a dream. That much was true. In hell, for a ghost, to affect the living world. Even through a dream costs power. And I was a new ghost with nothing. The chief took another deep drag. So stressed his hair nearly fell out. Damn it, what kind of mess is this? Right then, a ghost general in black armor rode an ancient horse with blue flames and charged into the office. His voice boomed like a bell. All the ghost officers and even the chief dropped to their knees. I knelt down too, my heart pounded. No way. Did this little mess alarm the king of hell? The ghost general dismounted. His gaze was sharp and swept across the room. Then he strode toward me. His killing aura nearly crushed me. He studied me from head to toe, then dropped to one knee and cupped his fists respectfully. Lord Shen, the king of hell, requests you at Yanwan Hall. Yanwan Hall was only in legends to me. I never thought a new ghost would be carried there in a grand sedan. The ghost general leading me treated me with total respect, calling me Lord Mo each time. After a gloomy corridor, I was brought into a room that looked like a modern office. In the center of the room, a man in a black suit with a stern face looked exhausted, staring at a chart on his computer. If not for the crown on his head, I would think I was on Wall Street. The general reported softly, Your Majesty, Lord Mo is here. The king of hell looked up fast, and his eyes lit up at once. He rushed over and held my hand, as excited as if he had found family. Brother Shen, you finally came. Brother? Is this hierarchy right? Your Majesty. No need to be so formal. Just call me Old Chin. The king of hell pulled me to the sofa and poured me tea himself. Dark mist drifted from the cup, and the smell hit hard. I thought, call him Old Chin. Old Chin rubbed his hands, looking awkward. Brother Shen. Your wife is Miss Lin Qingxue, right? Yes. What does she do? She runs a flower shop. Old Chin sucked in a cold breath and looked at me with more awe. A flower shop owner. Terrifying. He pointed at the computer screen with a hopeless look. Brother, look at this. This is Hell's exchange rate over the last 3 days. It has almost fallen flat because your wife burned in too much money. It has heavily shaken Hell's financial market and caused inflation. Now 1 bowl of Mangpa soup has risen to 100 hellbills. The little ghosts are almost rebelling. I listened in a daze. So Hell's economy is this fragile? Old Chin sighed and pulled out a wrinkled pack of cigarettes. Then handed me one. I saw it was Huazi from the living world. Have one. I waved to refuse, so he lit one himself. After one deep drag, he continued. Brother, I will be honest. The money your wife burned in, we do not dare touch it. It is all in Hell's central bank. But right now, Hell's treasury is short on cash. He looked at me with an extremely sincere gaze. Could you lend us some first? Think of it as Hell issuing a bond. The interest is negotiable. Definitely better than living banks. I was completely stunned. The king of hell wanted to borrow money. If this got out, all hell would explode. I looked at Old Chin's near-crying face and remembered Ma Xiu's arrogant look. An idea flashed through my mind. I cleared my throat, leaned back, and crossed my legs. Lending money is not impossible. But I have one condition. Old Chin's eyes lit up. Say it. 1 condition or 100. I smiled and said 3 words. I want power. I want to see the living world anytime and send dreams to my wife. Old Chin froze, then slapped his thigh hard. That is all. He picked up the phone and dialed. Hello, personnel office. This is Qin Guangwang. Appoint Shen Mo immediately as inspector of the Yin Yang Bureau. Yes, right now. He hung up, then smiled at me. Brother, are you satisfied with this post? 11th rank Yin Yang Inspector. I felt like I was dreaming. 3 days ago, I was a bullied 7th rank nobody. 3 days later, I was the king's guest, rising straight to the top. And all of this was only because I had a wife who loved me madly. Qingxue, wait for me. When I wore the 1st rank black robe and returned to the West District office, the whole office exploded. The chief rushed out first. When he saw my outfit, he nearly dropped to his knees. Lord Shen, his voice trembled. On his balding head, fine sweat began to bead. Were you not calling me Shen Mo earlier? I clasped my hands behind my back and calmly copied a leader's tone. Chief, no need for ceremony. Ma Xiao and his lackeys were outside, watching, but his eyes nearly popped out. The cigarette fell from his mouth. What? You, where did you steal those clothes? Clearly, he still could not accept it. I did not look at him and walked straight to the chief. Chief, the King of Hell has ordered me to investigate fiscal chaos. All account books are sealed now and handed to the Yin Yang Bureau. I also suspect someone abused authority, stole salaries, and bullied co-workers. Ma Xiao has been suspended. Come with my guards. As soon as I finished speaking, 2 ghost generals behind me, with green faces and fangs, stepped out and grabbed Ma Xiao from both sides. Ma Xiao's face turned deathly pale. I did not. You are framing me. He struggled like crazy, like a dog held by the throat. I am innocent, Chief. Save me. Chief. The chief shuddered in fear and shook his head like a rattle. Lord Shen sees everything clearly. This humble official knows nothing. What a fence-sitter. I sneered and walked to Ma Xiao, then bent down and spoke so only he could hear. Being a ghost or being alive is the same. Know your place. Now my sense of place is good enough, right? I returned his insult word for word. Ma Xiao began trembling violently, his eyes filled with fear. I was wrong. Lord Shen, I was truly wrong. Please, spare me. Too late. Take him away. Interrogate him hard. I waved my hand. The generals dragged Ma Xiao away and vanished outside the office. The other ghost officers froze in fear, not daring to breathe loudly. So this was the taste of power. I ignored them after that and walked into my new office. After becoming a Yin Yang Bureau Inspector, I gained one key power. A huge crystal stood in the room. It could reveal the living world. I took a deep breath and poured ghost energy into it. Lin Qingxue. The mirror rippled, and a familiar figure appeared. It was my home. Qingxue wore my old t-shirt on the sofa, holding our wedding photo. She had lost so much weight. Her once rosy cheeks were now pale and worn out. The table was covered in paper money and cars she had drawn herself. Silly girl. They looked so ugly. My heart felt tightly gripped, and the pain was sharp. Just then, the doorbell rang. Qingxue stood up warily and looked through the peephole. Her body clearly froze. She did not open the door. A bitter woman's voice came from outside. Lin Qingxue, open the door. I know you are in there. Hiding like a turtle will not help. This house belongs to my nephew. You are an outsider, so leave. My fists clenched instantly. My nails dug into my palms. That woman was my father's sister. She had been spiteful since I was young, and rude too. When I was alive, she came to bother us. Once I died, she showed her fangs. Another young man's voice came outside, full of impatience. Sister-in-law, do not reject kindness, or you will suffer for it. My mom is right. This was my cousin's premarital property. You get no share, so get out. This man was my cousin. His name was Li Fei, a useless loafer spoiled rotten by his mother. A pair of animals. My eyes went blood red. I wanted to rush out of the underworld and tear those two apart. In the mirror, Qingxue leaned on the door, tears sliding down in silence. She picked up her phone and dialed a number with shaking hands. Hello, police? Someone is trying to break into my home. Before she could finish, a violent crash sounded from outside. They were smashing the door. You shameless little trash, son, ram it. We are throwing her out today. Aunt Shen's shrill voice was like nails scraping glass. It made my ears ache. Li Fei's furious roar mixed in. Lin Qingxue, open the door, or I will break in and ruin your legs. Every impact hit like a hammer, smashing hard into my heart. Inside the crystal, Qingxue curled behind the door, her small body trembling like a leaf. She bit her lip hard, refusing to cry out, but her tears had already soaked her cheeks. Do not be afraid, I screamed at the crystal, but my voice could not reach her world. I could only watch as the wooden door we chose together began to bend under their blows. Wood chips fell from around the lock. Anger and helplessness were like two vipers chewing through my heart. So what if I was a first-rank official? So what if I was the richest ghost here? I still could not protect my own wife. Calm down. Shen Mo, you have to stay calm. I forced myself to close my eyes and breathe. Rage would not solve anything. I was now an inspector of the Yin Yang division. There had to be a way. There had to be one. I opened my eyes and rushed from my office straight to the Underworld archives. This place held every record in scripture since the Underworld was founded. What I needed was any method for a ghost to affect the living world. The archive guard was an old man with a white beard, half asleep, until he saw my official robe. He jumped to his feet at once. My lord, what do you need? Bring me every scroll on Yin Yang passage, right now. Yes, my lord, this way. He did not dare delay, and hurried me deep into the archive. Before a dusty row of shelves, he pulled out a thick ancient book, wrapped in animal hide. All the techniques are in here. I snatched the book up, and flipped through it. The words were written in blood, giving off a cold, eerie aura. I scanned the pages fast. Blood return, rebirth by possession, spirit crossing. Each forbidden art had a terrible cost, either 1,000 years of cultivation or countless soul offerings. I could not use any of them. Was there truly no way? My heart sank bit by bit. Just when despair almost took me, my finger brushed a thin sheet. Hidden between the pages, I carefully pulled it out. Only a few lines were written on it. With boundless merit golden light, one may form a temporary body and manifest briefly before the living. When the golden light is spent, the soul may suffer damage. Even worse. I froze. Merit golden light? What is that? My lord, you must not. This is the legendary merit manifestation. Merit golden light is a heavenly blessing given after death to those who did great good in life. It is 10,000 times more precious than Yin virtue. You died saving someone, so you must have merit. But it is the foundation of your future rank and reincarnation. Once used, your future will be ruined. I stared at the words, then thought of Qing Xue in the mirror, her tear-stained face. If I could not protect my own woman, what was the point of a future? Tell me how to use it. My voice was quiet, but it carried an unshakable resolve. The old man trembled under my gaze and stammered, just draw out the golden light. Then silently recite the name of the one you wish to protect. Before he finished, I turned and rushed from the archive. Back to my office. The door in the crystal was about to fall. With a loud crash, the lock was smashed open. Aunt Shen and Li Fei rushed in with two burly men, laughing viciously. Qing Xue, let us see where you can run. Qing Xue screamed, and backed away in despair. I will make you regret this for eternity. I hesitated no longer, sat cross-legged, and closed my eyes, gathering all my focus. Soon, deep inside my soul, I saw a faint but incredibly warm golden glow. This was merit golden light. Now, in the name of Shen Mo, merit golden light, protect my beloved wife, Lin Qingxue. I roared aloud, pouring all my will into that golden light. The light burst from my body at once, turning into a brilliant stream that pierced through the roof, tore open the gray sky of the underworld, and rushed toward the living world. Then a violent weakness hit me. As if my entire soul had been emptied, my vision went black and I collapsed back in my home. Trash, you dared call the police? Li Fei snatched Qing Xue's phone and smashed it to the floor. The screen shattered instantly. With a cruel grin, he stepped closer. If I do not throw out a jinx like you today, my name is not Li. Why are you standing there? Throw all her things out. Move faster. This house is unlucky. I still need a ritual done here. One burly man laughed darkly and reached for Qing Xue's arm. Qing Xue closed her eyes in despair, two tears sliding down, just as that filthy hand was about to touch her. Everything changed. The lights in the room began flickering wildly. Buzzing with electric noise, the clear sky outside suddenly darkened. Black clouds pressed low. A bone-chilling wind appeared from nowhere, lifting the paper money on the floor and scattering it all over the room. The temperature plunged to freezing. What is happening? Li Fei stopped in his tracks, staring around in terror. Anshin's face also turned pale. Did the power trip? All the lights went out at once. The whole room fell into darkness. Pitch black. Only the gloomy light outside barely showed faint outlines. Anshin screamed, "Who was there? Who just touched my neck?" "Mom, do not scare me." Li Fei's voice shook. The two thugs panicked too. Something is wrong here. It feels like something is here. In the darkness, a low, hoarse voice seemed to rise from the depths of hell. The voice was not loud, but it carried an irresistible authority and a bone-deep chill, clearly reaching every ear. One thug finally broke. He screamed and ran for the door. The others scrambled after him in a panic. "Who is playing ghost games? Get out here!" Li Fei roared, fierce on the outside but shaking inside. The answer was a fruit knife on the table. The knife slowly floated up by itself. Its tip aimed at Li Fei's forehead. Li Fei was scared out of his mind and collapsed onto the floor. His pants instantly went wet. Anshin rolled her eyes and fainted from fear. The knife paused in the air, then shot past Li Fei's scalp with a whoosh and stabbed deep into the wall behind him. The handle buzzed and trembled. Li Fei could feel a lock of hair and a trace of warm liquid slide down from his head. His courage shattered. He crawled away, dragging his unconscious mother out of the room. That made even his soul tremble. The world finally went quiet. In the dark, only Qingshue's sobs remained. The piercing cold slowly faded. A faint strand of almost invisible golden light drifted down and gently settled above Qingshue's head, like a tender hand comforting her. Qingshue's crying slowly softened, as if she could feel beside her a familiar and warm presence. "Shen Mo," she whispered, "is that you? Are you back?" No one answered. But she could feel that presence beside her. Never leaving. She smiled, then cried again. "I knew you would not leave me alone." Back in the Yin Yang division, I woke slowly, feeling like my entire soul had been hollowed out. Utterly weak, the white-bearded archive keeper was watching over me with worry. "My lord, you are awake." "Did it work?" I asked hoarsely. "It worked. It worked. I used a magic mirror just now. Your manifestation was mighty and scared those villains away." I let out a breath and struggled to sit up. "My lord, do not move. You used up 70% of your golden merit light. Your soul is badly damaged. You must rest." 70%? I smiled bitterly. The price was no small thing, but as long as Qingxue was safe, it was worth it. I took the jade bottle, opened it, and smelled it. Pure Yin energy rushed out. The old man knew how to be useful. I swallowed the pill. A warm current spread through me instantly and eased much of my soul's weakness. I walked to the crystal. Qingxue had already fallen asleep. She slept on the sofa, still holding our wedding photo. Tear marks clung to her eyes, but a peaceful smile rested on her lips. "Silly girl, sleeping on the sofa will make you catch cold." I reached out to touch her face, but my hand only passed through the cold mirror. Between us stood an uncrossable gulf. "My lord, merit manifestation cannot last. If you truly want to protect your wife, you need another way." I nodded. I knew. This time, they had run scared, but that greedy mother and son would never give up so easily. I needed a permanent solution. In the underworld, is there a spell that can bring misfortune or financial ruin to the living? There is something called a bad luck talisman, used to punish evil people in the living world. Write their birth details on the talisman, then activate it with Yin virtue, and bad luck will cling to them. Mildly, they lose money. Severely, blood may be spilled. Where can I get one? They are usually controlled by the punishment office. Ordinary ghost officers cannot touch them. The punishment office. Take me there. My lord, please follow me. The punishment office was the most feared department in the underworld. It held the worst evildoers from the living world, after they were thrown into hell. As soon as I reached the gate, I heard waves of miserable screams inside. The chief of the office was a one-eyed brute with a thick beard, full of killing aura. When he saw me, he only cupped his hand slightly. His attitude was arrogant. Lord Shen, what brings you here? I need a few bad luck talismans. The one-eyed chief narrowed his eye. Bad luck talismans are serious underworld tools. They cannot be used casually. You need a written order from King Yin, with the target and reason recorded. He was using rules to block me. I smiled. Chief, I hear your son works in Wonsi City and recently ran into some trouble. Lord Shen, what do you mean? Nothing much. I simply think your son is talented and wasting away in Wonsi City. My Yin Yang division happens to need a deputy. What do you think? It was an open deal. The one-eyed chief was smart. He stared at me for a long while, his face twitching. Finally, he forced out the words. Lord Shen, please come inside. I received 10 talismans, each glowing with ominous black energy, twisted runes drawn in ghost blood. The one-eyed chief personally saw me to the gate, far more respectful than before. I nodded, sealing the deal without words. The underworld was like the living world. Connections were everywhere. Back at the Yin Yang division, I immediately got brush and ink and wrote Anshan and Li Fei's birth details onto 2 bad luck talismans. I remembered them clearly when my mother was alive. She recited them every new year. After writing them, I poured my little remaining Yin virtue into the talismans. They ignited without fire, turning into 2 streams of black smoke and vanishing instantly. Now the show begins. I looked back into the crystal in the living world. Li Fei was helping his mother, who had just woken in the hospital, out through the entrance. Anshan had bandages on her head and was still cursing. Mom, that flat is in the city center, worth at least 10 million. Are we letting it go? Of course not. That damned Lin Xingxue must have faked all that ghost nonsense. Fei, do not be afraid. Tomorrow, I will find the strongest master and force that little witch out. Just then, Li Fei's phone rang. He checked the screen. An unknown number. Hello, who is this? Are you Li Fei? I am here for your creditors. That huge debt you owe us must be paid today. What? I have no money. No money? Then pay with your hand. Our boys are already at your door. Please, boss, I will pay right away. Li Fei was scared senseless. He hung up and panicked like an ant on a hot pan. Mom, what do we do? The debt collectors found me. Stop talking. Find a way to get money. As the mother and son panicked, an out-of-control street sweeper suddenly rushed from the corner, straight toward them. The truck blared its tune. Li Fei screamed and scrambled out of the way. But Anshan was not so lucky. The street sweeper splashed up water, soaking her from head to toe. Worse, her foot slipped, and she landed hard by the road, right on a stinky tofu stall. The boiling oil pan flipped over and poured onto her leg. Anshan let out a terrible scream. The hospital entrance fell into chaos. Watching it through the crystal, I felt no pity at all. This was only the beginning. Over the next few days, Anshan and Li Fei learned what real bad luck meant. Anshan was hospitalized with burns on her leg. But a medical mistake infected the wound, and she nearly lost the leg. Li Fei needed money for gambling debts, so he tried selling his used sports car. But right after leaving the neighborhood, he rear-ended a septic truck. The wrecked car was the least of it. He was sprayed with filthy waste. When he went to the bank, the ATM swallowed his card. When he ordered food, it was sent to the wrong address or had a cockroach inside. Even walking down the street, a falling flower pot hit his head. It was only a plastic pot, but it still split his scalp. In just 3 days, the mother and son were exhausted and completely miserable. They finally realized that they would be haunted by something unclean. They no longer dared trouble Qingxue. Just dealing with endless bad luck had drained all their strength. Things in the living world paused for now, but trouble rose in the underworld. I used the money King Yen borrowed from me, along with the endless hot cash my wife kept sending down to invest here. I bought the ferry business on the Wanchuan River, monopolized tolls on Naihe Bridge, and bought into Manga Soup's secret recipe. My fortune snowballed bigger and bigger. And my underworld status kept rising. Even black and white impermanents had to greet me politely as Lord. Even Yama meetings saved me a seat. I became the underworld's true god of wealth. But new worries came with it. Qingxue was still burning money for me, though less than before. It was still a massive fortune. That day, old Shen called me to his office again and handed me a report. This is the latest Underworld GDP index. It went up again. At this rate, the Underworld will face an economic crisis. I really have no way. I tried visiting her dreams, but every time, Qingxue thinks I am suffering over there and need money, so she burns even more. What a blessed problem, old Shen sighed. The one who tied the knot must untie it. He looked at me, his eyes turning deep. Brother Lu, there may be a way for you to truly see her once. My heart stirred. What way? Old Shen walked to the window, looking at the gray underworld sky. Every year on the Ghost Festival, the Ghost Gate opens briefly. The Order of Yin and Yang loosens. If you can, on that day, gather the tokens of the 10 Yin marshals. With your unmatched wealth, you may open a special passage, letting you return for a moment. Return to life. Those words exploded in my mind. My breathing grew urgent. Is that true? Absolutely. Old Shen turned and looked at me seriously. But the 10 Yin marshals are proud and unruly. Their tokens are not easy to get. And reversing Yin and Yang brings heavenly punishment. Even if you return for one incense stick, the price you pay may be your soul scattering forever. I fell silent. Soul scattering meant eternal death, with no chance of reincarnation. Was it worth it for one short meeting? To pay the price of vanishing forever? In my mind appeared Qingxue's tear-stained smile, and her lonely figure curled on the sofa, holding our wedding photo. It was worth it. I lifted my head, my gaze firm. Tell me where the 10 Yin marshals are. Only 3 days remained before Ghost Festival. Within those 3 days, I had to gather all 10 marshal tokens. They were Ghost King, Day Patrol, Night Patrol, Impermanence, Ox Head, Horseface, Leopard Tail, Birdbeak, Fish Gills, and Wild Wind. These marshals managed key parts of the underworld, each one powerful and strange-tempered. Getting their tokens was harder than climbing heaven, but I had my own methods. The first ones I went to were Oxhead and Horseface, who ran traffic. Their token was the soul hook chain. I wasted no words and directly threw out a plan for an underworld overpass. Brothers, the Wanchuan River is jammed every day, and it hurts our underworld GDP. I plan to invest 10 billion spirit bills to build an 18-lane river bridge. From Naihe Bridge to the reincarnation office, you two will supervise the project. As for the funds, use them however you need. Oxhead and Horseface stared at the interchange blueprint, almost drooling over it, and stuffed the soul hook chain into my hands. Second, I visited Day Patrol and Night Patrol. Their token was the patrol order recording the living world. I gave each of them the newest Ghost-made XS, which connects to the living internet. For short videos and games. No more running yourselves ragged. Just monitor everything online. They loved the new phones. And the patrol order was mine. Next were Leopard Tail, Birdbeak, Fish Gills, and Wild Wind. Those 4 were tough. Nothing could move them. So I went to their direct superior, the one-eyed chief. Chief, your son is doing well in my Yin Yang division. He has a bright future. The one-eyed chief understood at once. That night he brought 4 battered marshals and their tokens to my office. Finally, only black and white impermanents remained. Fan Wujio and Xia Baiyan. They were King Yan's trusted aides and veterans of the underworld. I personally visited them. They were playing chess and barely looked at me. Lord Shen, you do not visit without reason. Speak quickly and make it quick. I smiled and placed 2 things on the chessboard. On the left was a business district deed. On the right was an improved Manga soup recipe with cheese foam and tapioca pearls, a greeting gift for you 2 lords. You can open a milk tea shop there. I guarantee booming business with money pouring in daily. This recipe counts as my technical investment. Fan Wujio stared at the deed. His breathing grew heavier. Xia Baiyan picked up the recipe, his eyes flashing with business opportunity. The 2 exchanged a glance. Xia Baiyan cleared his throat. Just a token, nothing important. Lord Mo, take it. With that, all 10 tokens were gathered. Of the Ghost Festival. I stood on the Underworld's highest Wangshan terrace. Beneath me was a huge formation, built from countless spirit bills and treasures. The 10 tokens floated around me, radiating powerful Yin energy. Old Qin stood beside me, his face solemn. Brother Mo, have you truly decided? Once this gate opens, you face almost certain death. I looked toward the living world, where my only attachment remained. Old Qin, if I cannot come back, please take care of her for me. I took a deep breath and stepped into the formation, then poured all my wealth and power into the array one by one. With a boom, the underworld shook. A black pillar of light shot into the sky from the array and forcefully tore open a crack between yin and yang. Beyond the crack was my living room. Qingxue sat at the table, preparing paper money for me. The moment I saw her, my heart almost melted. I stepped forward and passed through the crack. A massive rejection from heaven crushed down on me instantly. My soul felt thrown into a grinder, breaking apart inch by inch. The pain nearly made me faint. Qingxue. Using the last of my strength, I formed a shape before her. Qingxue, I am back. Su Qingxue was folding paper ingots with great care, each one neat and square, with clean, sharp edges. As she folded, she whispered, Shen Mo, be well over there. Tell me if you run out of money, and I will burn more for you. Do not worry about home. I can handle it. It is just that I miss you. As she spoke, her tears fell again, landing on the paper ingot and spreading into a small wet mark. Suddenly, she sensed something strange, as if someone else was in the room. She suddenly looked up and saw a sight she would never forget. A man in a black official robe stood before her. His body looked faint, almost transparent, but that face and those gentle eyes, she would know even in ashes. Her voice shook beyond control. She thought grief had made her hallucinate. She reached out to touch his face. Qingxue, I am back. I looked at her and smiled. Her hand passed through my face. We could not touch each other, but my voice reached her ears clearly. Qingxue's tears burst free. It was not an illusion. It was really him. She cried and laughed like a child. How did you come back? Are you not? I am not dead. I just changed workplaces. I looked at her thin face, my heart aching beyond words. Silly girl. Stop burning money for me. Spend more in the living world. Buy yourself good food. And gain a little weight. Then I will live well over there. I pointed toward the door. And do not fear that wicked mother and son. They will never bother you again. I will always watch over you and protect you. Qingxue nodded hard, trying too much to speak. One incense stick was very short. My body was turning more transparent. Heaven's rejection grew stronger. I knew it was time to go. Qingxue, I have to leave. Do not go. Qingxue cried and tried to hold me, but only held empty air. Please do not go. Take me with you, please. I shook my head, still smiling. Live well. And see this world for me. If one day you miss me, just look up at the sky. I will be there. My body turned into golden specks and began to fade away. As Qingxue cried in heartbreak, I looked at her one last time, engraving her face into my breaking soul. Back on Wangshan Terrace, the array went dark. I fell from midair. My body was almost invisible, as if it could vanish at any moment. Old Qin rushed forward and brother. He pushed a softly glowing pearl into my mouth. The pearl melted instantly. Quick, this is the soul-stabilizing treasure pearl. Steady your mind. A warm, gentle power gathered my nearly scattered soul again. I slowly opened my eyes. My soul was stabilized. But the deep weakness remained. The price of defying heaven was losing almost 90% of my cultivation. From the richest soul in the underworld overnight, I became that penniless ghost again. Was it worth it? Old Qin asked. I smiled. Worth it. Old Qin watched me, then smiled too. He patted my shoulder. You are the most devoted ghost I have ever met. All right, stop standing in the wind. Come back to Yin Palace with me. I still have a few bottles of 1,000-year soul tonic wine to help you recover. Thank you. 3 years later, in the living world, a flower shop called Xue had expanded across the country. Its founder, Su Qingxue, became a famous entrepreneur. She never burned paper money for me again, but every Qingming and Ghost Festival, she would come to my grave and place my favorite white roses, then sit there all afternoon, telling me about her year. She was living well, and that was enough. In the underworld, with old Qin's support and the connections I had built, I slowly made my comeback. Though I never reached peak wealth again, I became product director for Mengpa soup, developing all kinds of new flavors like strawberry, milk tea, and spicy crayfish. Sales were said to be good. Jing Shuai and I lived well in our separate worlds. We both knew the other was there. Maybe that was the best ending. Jing Shuai, wait for me. When I have enough merit, I will find you first next life.